I'm here now.
Okay.
Okay, I'm recording this. Does anybody have any objections?
Carl?
Oh,
Okay. Roland, how are you?
it's fine.
Morning. Well, fine, thank you. You?
You feeling better?
I'm fine, thanks, yeah.
Good, good, good.
Has anybody checked with Juniper? Will they be open next week in phase 2?
I don't know. I haven't heard. Does anybody know?
No.
Is Juniper going to be open? Does anybody know? Well, I will take responsibility for calling and find out, Carl.
Okay.
Linda, are you driving?
No, I'm just sitting in my car.
Oh, okay.
No, I was actually, that's asking too much.
Okay. That's what I call social distancing.
Yeah, right, yeah. I think I'm the only one from Cascadia here, but I decided I'm attending anyway, but I may have to sign out early because I have another meeting at 1 o'clock on Zoom. So.
Okay.
Linda, I'm here, so we only need one more.
Oh, good. Hopefully we'll get somebody. Hi, Steve.
How you doing?
Nice to have you with us, Josh.
Thank you, Earl. How's everybody doing?
You're just fine. There we go. I've got 3 minutes after 12. So why don't we get started and people can join as they have the opportunity. So let's start by, Dave, do you have the flag?
Yep.
Okay, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We normally would have our song, but for those who are visiting, we're not going to sing. It's bad enough in person, let alone when we try it otherwise. In our prayer, Dan Young's not here, so I'll say a short prayer. Bless us, dear Lord, as we prepare to go through this meeting today. We ask that you come unto us with your blessings and protect us during this time of pandemic, as well as our communities. Lord, have mercy on us. Through Christ our Lord, amen.
Amen.
Okay, introduction of guests. We have with us, in addition to Sarah Vincent, who will be our speaker, we have the opportunity to have some members from the Cascadia Club, particularly with our new Lieutenant Governor-elect, Steve Emhoff. Steve, I'm standing up. There we go.
I can see that. Me too.
Good. Any other visitors that I don't recognize here? Oh, Linda, we forgot you down here.
Oh,
Out in her car. Welcome.
I'm a regular, you know that.
Okay, good. Any announcements from anybody?
Yes, I have one.
Good, Dan, go ahead.
So this Friday is the first Friday of the month, Friday, June 5th. It's our turn once again to serve at Jericho Table. And I'm looking for a couple of volunteers to help serve about 4:45 on Friday. Anyone interested?
Anybody able to go help Dan?
I'll be glad to, Dan.
Do I see Truman's hand go up also?
I'm trying to get Hannah's attention. She's downstairs.
Oh.
You want to go?
Oh, if you can
Can't
take
hear.
a few minutes, an hour or so to help Dan on Friday, please do so.
Okay, so I'll, Linda, I'll count on you. I'll send an email to you with the address and time.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay.
Yes, I have one, sir.
Yes.
Just confirming that if you didn't get the message that our Kiwanis golf tournament is canceled for the year.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you say that again, John?
Yeah, just we made the decision last week that the golf tournament for this year is going to be canceled.
Okay. Okay.
Or rescheduled till next year.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead, Hannah.
Yes, we've had speakers regarding this topic, and I would like to let you know that this is Wear Orange Week to stop gun violence. Go to wearorange.org. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. This shirt, by the way, is orange, in case you can't tell. Any other announcements? And Steve has an orange shirt on. That's good. Okay. Any other announcements? All right. Without further ado, then, I will go to what you've all been waiting for, the joke of the week.
Time to mute.
Okay. Some of us can appreciate this. When an older person comes up to me at a wedding and says, "You're next," somehow it's sociably acceptable. But when I do the same thing at a funeral, I get into trouble. Okay, moving on. Sarah, see, I set that up. You've got to be really, they'll really appreciate whatever you have to say after that joke.
I don't know if I can beat that. That was pretty good.
Sarah, you're with a group called Soul Purpose. So you're going to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yes.
All
Yes, I
righty.
am.
The floor is all yours, as they say.
Thank you. I want to thank Josh for having me on today and be able to share my mission and my purpose with what I do. I also want to acknowledge the climate that we're in our community, in our country, and in our nation. It seems that we're in desperate need of hope and we need change. And that is the mission of what I do. So Soul Purpose is my nonprofit. I founded it back in 2018 and I work with at-risk youth and their families. A little bit of history. So I've been clean and sober for almost 30 years. And I actually went into a treatment center for an eating disorder. And nobody had been through anything. Nobody had been through addiction or anything that I'd been through. And I'm like, that's it. I need to work with youth because they don't understand what I'm going through. So at that time, I knew that this was my mission, is to help. And by the grace of God, I'm not dead or in jail. I should not be here, but this is God's work for me. I know this is a plan and purpose for my life. So I founded my nonprofit in 2018. I have worked with at-risk youth for the better part of 25 years. As a recovery mentor, I've done admissions work, the activities director, PE, all of those things. I am currently just got my drug and alcohol certification, so I'm a CADC 1. I'm also a certified recovery mentor and a parent advocate. And I founded this because I see a need for the youth in our community specifically that is not being addressed in the treatment centers or on other levels. And the reason I am not in any way saying that we need multiple modalities for treatment, 100%. I worked at Rimrock Trails for 4 years. I worked at the Academy at Sisters for 5 years. I love the models and what we do. There's also a lot of restrictions and constraints. And so my model is based on my personal experience and the research that I've done with the youth that I've worked with for over 25 years. Two of the biggest indicators that I see with youth, and actually it's statistics, are parent involvement and mentorship. And so there's statistics that prove if you have been through life-altering events as a youth, from death, parent incarceration, abuse, that if you've had one mentor speak into your life, one positive person, your chances of success in your future go up exponentially, like to the tune of 60%. So when I founded this, being a recovery mentor, I can relate to these youth, what they've been through. Our stories aren't exactly the same, but what we've been through as far as addiction and some other things are, and they understand and we relate. So my premise is, when I got clean and sober, I had to switch habits. So I went to fitness. So for me, health and fitness is the pivotal part of my life with my faith. It literally has kept me going. I have 2 programs that I currently run. I have one that's called, well, it's not called, its sole purpose is my nonprofit. I have a mobile fitness unit. So I turned a trailer into a mobile fitness unit. Because what I did is I had to look at the barriers and what is missing from some of these residential programs. What is it that I keep coming against? Well, one of the biggest things is transportation, transportation and time. So being able to transport these kids places, to be able to get the staff to bring them, it's not there from a funding standpoint, just because of the nature of what we do. So I turned a trailer into a mobile fitness unit, and I take my unit to different agencies and facilities. For instance, I work with the Deschutes County Juvenile. I've had multiple clients on contract there where I go and I run my program. I worked with the alternative school up in Prineville, Pioneer. Unfortunately, which is the most, what's the word I'm looking for, at-risk population with school being shut down. I no longer am able, obviously, to serve in that capacity there. I also work with Rimrock Trails currently. I run my nonprofit 4 days a week up there with the kids. I have 2 with the girls and 2 with the boys. With that mobile fitness program, my program is called THUGLife, and it stands for something: thoughts, habits, understanding, and goals. And then the life part is all about solution focused. So my biggest goal with these kids is getting them to see that their past is not their present, and their past is not their potential. And so we do that through health and fitness. And then we do it through a lot of mindset work is what I do with these kids. And then the other program I have is called Youth Empowerment Program, and it's called YEP. And I run it out of Garage Fitness, which is a facility here in Redmond. It's where I train, but I rent the facility. And that program, I'll tell you in a minute. So the program that I run there is fitness based also, but we have a lot of vocational skills. So again, the 2 things that I found statistically with these youth over the years that really gets them either out of their addiction or into less harmful, behavior modification is a job and being in some sort of health and fitness, whether it's working out, whether it's just eating better, because addiction, all of those things that's the final outcome. It's about not feeling good about ourselves. It's about not feeling empowered. So I've actually partnered with multiple businesses here in Redmond, Garage Fitness itself, Perfection Plus Auto Detailing, Neathery Landscaping, and these companies are willing to hire the kids that I work with and do internships. And so I'm looking for other, partners right now. Unfortunately, due to the juvenile, because of COVID, I can't do face-to-face. But that is something that I have in place for the youth to be able to come do the program, get internship, get skills, potentially get hired. So that is something that I am growing currently, is that piece. So the thing about my programs is that they're very adaptable. When I work at the juvenile department, one of the POs, the probation officers will say, okay, these kids are struggling with this. So then I can create the curriculum around what they're struggling with. Usually it's a 6-week program. If you need me for 2 days, I can make that work. So what I have realized, looking at the metrics, looking at research, looking at what I know these facilities need, are meeting the needs of the kids where they're at. And that is my entire goal, is to meet these kids and these families where they're at. So that my mobile fitness piece, I go to them. And with the vocational skills, these kids getting jobs has been pivotal in changing their lives. And so being able to provide entrepreneurs, I have people come in who have been through addiction, who have been through things, have been clean and sober, and now are thriving. So I present these different options, showing these kids that their current circumstances, their past is not where they need to stay or have to stay. The other really big component that I'm working on growing is the family piece. So before COVID hit, I was running 3 groups out of the facility in Redmond. one being Nar-Anon. So anybody that has somebody in their family or someone they know that struggles with addiction, I was doing a meeting. I went to do it on Zoom and just haven't gotten much traction, but I'm going to keep offering that. I also offer an under 18 NA program for the youth. And so it's 1 hour of NA, and then we offer a workout right after. So again, these kids need to create community in positive ways while trying to get through their addiction so they can be around people that are doing like-minded things. The other group that I'm offering is a financial education platform for these families. In my years of doing this, I see a lot of times, most of the time, addiction and poverty go hand in hand. And just that vicious cycle that people get into with feeling stuck because they have no money, so they go use, but then and it's just a vicious, and it's a generational cycle. And so I created a program, not a program, but a class to offer financial education. I'm with World Financial Group, Transamerica Financial Advisors. And so I have a platform to be able just to simply offer education and let them know that there is hope. Again, my programs are about empowerment and helping the youth and helping the family see that they don't have to stay where they're at and that there are alternatives. So that is the basis of what I'm doing. In this process, I've been having to adapt and to change because there's different needs. You know, within the juvenile department, I also talked to the head of the jail there, Robert, he's amazing, about coming in and working with the youth in the jail, in the detention, so I can make contact there with them. At Rimrock Trails, I'm also a contract recovery mentor as soon as we're able to see face-to-face again, so I will have another point of contact with youth and be able to serve them on that level. I have funded the nonprofit since 2018 to get it going. Again, it's my mission and my passion, but I also had contracts. I mean, I was having traction. Like I said, I'm, going to apply for grants, but we had, had a contract with Pioneer, and it was actually going so well. They wanted me on not just a 6-week basis. They wanted me the whole school year to keep coming. Rimrock Trails, the same thing. I have a 12-week contract, and they really would like me to stay and continue to do it year round. We are seeing the need for health and fitness, and it's a holistic piece. It's mind, body, and soul. A lot of these youth, I'm sure you know someone or have been impacted by this. Our teen suicide rates are at an all-time high. With COVID, with what has happened, I've had multiple of my youth either relapse or go into higher drugs, from pot to heroin, things of that nature. You see the abuse statistics are up by over 100% because of what's going on. A lot of these kids aren't safe in their homes. They're just not. And so, being able to provide the resources and provide hope and provide tangible outcomes for this population is my goal. I also work just on my own time at Best Care in Redmond with the adults. And again, due to COVID, everything was no contact. But I was going there twice a month working with the adults so I can expand, the population. To me, I love working with this population, again, to provide hope and to see that you can do things different. I haven't worked with adults on a regular basis. So I really wanted to expand to go in there. So Barrett, who runs that, has been amazing to work with. But my avatar, so to speak, is, the 12 to 17-year-olds. That is the population I'm trying to address. So we don't see these kids get into the adult system. So we see these kids get hope. So we see these kids get empowerment, so they do not have to follow in their footsteps. A lot of what I see is the generational, or these kids come out of rehab, come out of treatment, great visions and goals, and they've worked on themselves, and they go back to a very toxic household. They go back to parents who are using, or it may be abusive, or whatever that, or just not supportive in general. So my program and what I'm doing is creating an ongoing conversation, an ongoing platform. I have contact. I just got texts from kids I worked with almost 10 years ago. They continue to reach out to me. That's not about me. That's just about, again, having a mentor or somebody in this platform to be able to reach these kids where they're at. So for me, our needs, we just, Shane from Perfection Plus just did a fundraiser for us. He had a car wash, and we raised $800, which was amazing. So appreciative of community support for our youth. These are the youth that are going to be in our community. And we want to empower them. We want to give them, I'm really proud of our community here in Redmond. I don't see any looting and I don't see any rioting. And I'm extremely proud of our community for not giving into that. And so again, the goal with what I'm doing is to empower these youth, to have them make them part of our community in a positive way, and to give back and help others. So the model that I have is something that I am working on getting copyrighted. And so it'll be a duplicatable model. And so I'll be able to have the nonprofit. My goal is to have it across not just our state, but the country. So that is where I am with that. Our needs, my trailer actually that I use to take places, it broke. The axle and the leaf springs are broken. So my goal right now is I have a company out of Texas, a friend of mine, to build a new trailer and to have it much more streamlined. Again, I turned an ATV, so a utility trailer. I had a gentleman fabricate a whole gym in the back. I had a weight rack. I had like everything set up, but there wasn't much space. So the new trailer that I'm looking at getting has like 8 stations. So even in the middle of winter, kids can come in, we can move through the stations, and then I can have stations on the outside. What do I mean by stations? So my workout that I do with these kids, so I'm usually about an hour. The first part is going over whatever part of my curriculum we're on. Like yesterday, we worked on friendships. So we talk about friendships. What's that look like? How are your friends? Are they toxic? So again, getting these kids aware of their behaviors. They can't change unless they're aware. And then we go into a workout, and usually it's about 20 to 30 minutes. And I run what's called a HIIT style, high intensity interval training style workout. So what it does, it gives you the most maximum benefit in the shortest period of time. I don't have their attention spans for 2 hours. Like, that's just not going to happen. I don't have an attention span for 2 hours. Let's be real. So getting these kids to pay attention, they've been super engaged in, the authentic conversation that I'm allowed to have with them. And then in the workouts. And I cannot tell you, even in the 6 weeks at Rimrock that I've been with these kids, look how strong I am. I just hit my PR. And to see their strength, the kids have lost weight, kids are feeling good. Like, that is a tangible result that I'm able to see through the efforts that, I have, through the efforts of my own experiences, to see these kids make these changes, sustainable changes. And it's a duplicatable, when they go home, they can go out their front door and work out. When the kids are done with the program, I have t-shirts for them that I have printed up. I have their workouts are all done. I have, 6-week workouts, they write their own workouts. So I make the kids engage. So they write their own workouts. So they are involved in their own process. I also have all their sheets that we've done throughout the curriculum. They get their own water bottle. And I throw in some other little treats in there. So they also are rewarded. They get a certification of completion. A lot of these kids never complete anything. Treatment, they are also, acknowledged for completing that. But this is I'm big into research, and I'm big into neuroscience to find out what actually works. How do we help these kids and meet them where they're at? Well, showing them that they actually completed something is a huge indicator. They're like, oh, I can do this. Because a lot of times they don't finish anything, or they're not told that they're capable of it. So that's also part of the whole program that I run, start to finish. Then they get, their certification, and they are involved in their process, in their workouts, and about empowering. Even at, when I was at Pioneer School, I had the kids write down meal plans. And so I had a cookbook. They each got their own little kind of meal plan cookbook that they got to take home. Their names are in it. Again, it's about empowering them and getting them involved in their own life and seeing that there's different choices. So that is the foundation of what I'm currently doing. I have a huge vision for the nonprofit itself. Like I said, it's a duplicatable model. I want to open a center. I was calling it like Central Oregon Youth Academy, to where the kids, when they come out of rehab, that they have somewhere to go for 6 months to a year. And we have certain jobs for them. I'm in the process of purchasing a coffee cart. So again, the kids, and that will be it won't be under the nonprofit, but it will be the vocational skill for these youth. So they'll be able to get business skills. They'll be able to go there and learn how to run a business, handle money, pro-social skills. So that's a huge component that I'm currently working on getting done, because I believe that's just like I said, it's a huge thing for these kids, an indicator for their success is to be empowered, to start making their own money, to start seeing that they have the potential to do something different. So.
Well, thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you.
It's really interesting. I think, last week we had a big brother and little sister talking about the same sort of thing in terms of mentorship and how important it is for those of us who can to be able to go out and help young people by being a mentor of some kind. Do we have questions for Sarah? Any questions?
Yes, Hannah.
Hannah.
Unmute.
Sorry. Yes, I am just blown away, totally blown away, sitting here letting all this wash over me of the amazing things that you're doing.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I would like for you to put in the chat, just put down your, if you have a Facebook page, the full name of your group, your full name, to just kind of know who you are and where we look at, make contact with you. And is there anything that we can do to help you? Do you have a specific thing that you would like us to do or collaborate with you? I was struck also by your using the word I, that you are doing a lot on your own.
Oh, it's just me.
It's just you, yeah.
It is a me thing right now. And I would love to train people. Again, the part of this process is being able to give these opportunities to people who are just coming out of addiction or who have that I'm going to be hiring people that have been through these things because they relate with the youth. So I put in the chat my website, which goes over my mission, my past. There is a site you can buy merchandise through there, and it gives resources. One of the big programs that I'm really working on right now, growing, is my Alliance. It's called the Alliance. It's a guardian youth unification, so to speak, blueprint. So I go into the home and I work with the families. Due to COVID, that's not happening right now. But that's a really big piece for me, is to work on this parent-child unification to have the growth of the whole family. I mean, the family unit needs to thrive. And you see it, it's the division that I see. And, I'm a parent. I parent out of fear sometimes. I've had my kids have struggled. And being able to have access to resources and to do things different without blaming or shaming there's a very tenuous, line there that it's hard. It's hard for a lot of us to hear, you're doing something that probably should not be done. So that's a really big program that I'm growing. I'm constantly in need of equipment. I have like I said, everything I have, I've purchased or I've gotten just over the years. So I'm always in need of new equipment, new bands. Like I said, that trailer that's my big push right now. I'm also, so I put the nonprofit in there. I will put my Facebook page, Instagram page as well. I'm also doing what's a challenge, and I'll put it on my page, called the 29029, which is Jesse Itzler. His wife actually is Sarah Blakely, who founded Spanx. So the 29029 is hiking the equivalent of Mount Everest. So it's at Snow Basin in Utah at the end of August. So I thought I would challenge myself. Oops. Anyway, so you climb up 14 times and you take the gondola down. We have 36 hours to complete. And to me, that's my fundraiser. I'm doing that as a giant push fundraiser for the nonprofit. You can sponsor per lap. I'm going to have it set up and I will be promoting that on my webpage. But I really am trying to tie in the fitness, health, in with what I'm doing to reach these youth where they're at. So for me, one of the biggest things I need is to get the word out. I need to be more proactive. And with COVID, I honestly just kind of took a step back and was trying to do more Zoom and try to meet the kids where they're at, but getting with the different, Deschutes County Behavioral Health and those things. But again, it's just me and I can't be in 20 places at once. So there's, a little, I have to do that in a very calculated way so I don't overextend, so I can actually really do as much benefit as I can for these kids. So, and my goal is to raise these youth, to have the youth that I work with, they're running these programs. They're going into facilities in a couple of years. They're doing this, because that's who these kids listen to. They listen to their kids their own age, and they're like, oh, well, if you can do it, I can do it. So I think we all see the news I've had multiple kids commit suicide. Kids are doing some very, very long prison terms. And it just breaks my heart, and it has to stop, and I have to be part of the solution. So that's where I'm at. And I again, appreciate this opportunity. I'm super passionate about this. Obviously, this is, I mean, this is why I'm here. Like I said, for me, I think we all have a past, but I should not be here. It's only by the grace of God that I am standing here in front of you today. And I know what my mission is. And I'm very grateful to be able to do it. I'm grateful to be where I'm at. And I know it will grow. And to have your support in any way, whether it's getting the word out about what I'm doing, any sort of, like I said, a donation for equipment is huge, anything along those lines. So, and just helping me promote what I'm doing and things like that would be amazing. Or if anybody does a fundraiser, if we can be involved, things like that would be extremely helpful.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Are there other questions?
Yes,
I have a question.
Oh.
Yes,
Hi,
Michelle.
Hi, Sara Jo. I don't have a question. I just wanted to just lift Sara Jo up to all of you. She is an amazing individual and has such a great impact on the kids in our residential program. As you know, I work with Rimrock Trails, and Sara said it best: finding sober activities for these kiddos, so that when they go out into the world, that they have habits, hobbies. They can work together. It's so important. The work she's doing is really incredible. And there's just so much more evidence about what the evidence-based activities that she's doing and how impactful they are for the youth that are struggling. So anyway, we just love her. She's an awesome individual. And if you ever get the chance just to talk to her, her energy is so beautifully contagious.
I'm kind of a spaz,
Yeah.
needless to say.
Yeah.
And I have a brochure too. Like I said, you can go to my website, but if anybody's interested in a brochure, I will put my email in the chat. I will send you any information. If you need more information, I would be glad to send that to you. And like I said, I really appreciate it. And if you see me work with the kids, they're like, oh, now I know. I'm like a child. So that's why I relate so well to these kids. And I can speak to them on a different level than just a counselor. So they get it. And if they take one thing home, like I said, I got this amazing, it just brought me to tears from a client I worked with 10 years ago who I didn't even think was listening. And she's like, I can't tell you how much, impact you've made, just listening to your videos. And I'm pretty raw on social media, just a heads up.
Any other questions?
Sara,
Yes.
I think what you're doing is great.
Thank you.
And necessary. My question is, how do you institute social distancing guidelines in the close confines of a trailer?
So I have not been using the trailer since COVID hit. I have not had to do that. What I'm doing at Rimrock is I bring all my equipment in. So I was working at Rimrock in the facility itself. So that's how they were able to introduce my nonprofit and me working with the kids, because I was in there anyway, working with these kids. And we have our guidelines with Rimrock, what we have to do. With my style of workout, we have stations. So I can separate them 6 feet, if not more, and we just go through. I have everything is sanitized. I do that on my own. Plus I have wipes and things that I do to make sure that everything that way. But, again, we're outdoors, especially this time of year, all my workouts can be outside. The beauty of the trailer is I have a heavy bag in there, and I have a whole TRX system, and these kids, that's a really good thing for these kids. They love that piece. So, but with the 6 foot and what I'm doing now in Rimrock, like I said, I have worked with them one-on-one. So it's just a different situation. Moving forward, I honestly am not 100% sure how we'll navigate that, other than the fact I can do the workouts outside, and I can have them at different stations with all their own equipment. They don't have to share equipment. That's why it's really important that I continue to, get equipment. And so these kids, especially as they get stronger, that they are going to go up in weights or do different things. So, and I have also, my degree is in physical education with a minor in athletic training. So I do have, and like I said, I've gone from, being obese to getting on stage to doing a bikini show. Fitness is, I'm, always trying to educate myself and get more knowledge on this so I can best serve them and meet the kids where they're at.
Good. Thank you. Other questions?
Thank you. Let me put any
other questions? Sarah, we really appreciate you coming and speaking with us today.
Thank you.
Obviously, I think as Michelle said and others, your enthusiasm shows right through. And if there's things that we can do, getting the word out, we'll be glad to do that. So
That would be
very
amazing.
much.
Yes, and I don't know who, just on a side note, who was doing the Jericho Road this Friday, but I could bring my daughter, and I believe she and I would love to help you, whoever's doing that.
So that was me, and I managed to get the 3 volunteers I needed during the meeting here. So thanks for your offer, Sarah.
Okay, could use it. Thank you very much again. I appreciate you allowing me to share.
Good.
It's okay if she wants to do it. No, if she wants to do the Jericho Road, we'll step back, me and Truman.
We do it regularly.
That's okay. We can do another time. My kids need to get out of their own way.
Okay.
They need to go help. So thank you. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe.
And Steve, we appreciate you being here with us in the Cascadia Club, joining us by way of the Zoom. That's a neat experience, and it's something I hope that we can get rid of shortly, but we'll wait and see how that goes. But it's always nice to have folks come to our meeting. I had known Steve for some time. We were lieutenant governors ago at some distance past, and he is a Kiwanian through and through. So we're very lucky to have him here as our lieutenant governor. And again, I'd like to thank you for that. Is there anything else for the good of the order? Okay, our elections went okay. We have new folks, and we appreciate everybody serving. And with that, you guys have a good week. Stay safe.